Well, we'll try this again. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. That's pretty crappy. But hey, you know what? That's what I got at the moment. So anyway, go back to the live show for anybody that comes back to check us out. So this one's on the phone, obviously. Makes it all completely different. I'm using different microphone. I got a different board going. It's a whole different thing now. You know, the whole deal is kind of different. Um, Obviously, the camera's different. The placement's different. Anyhow, this microphone seems like really hot. Not quite like the Shure. I kind of like the Shure better, obviously. Um, but hey, such is the world, and so we're gonna go. Anyway, this week, what did we get into? Well, like I said, we got into some MIDI work, and that. Good gravy. I got into some MIDI work, and that was helpful. Um, I need to get that going. I need to make that better for you guys, for the channel. You know, I'd like to have some music in the background playing. I would like to get, you know, like I said, my own kind of opening music, some closing music going. Um, so that's part of why I want to get into the MIDI and get that MIDI worked out and get it, you know, giving me more what I want, doing what I want it to do. So we're gonna try that. Keep trying it. We're gonna keep moving with it, and keep on with the chord work. That's gonna be still big this week. I definitely don't want to let that slide. Um, Try to keep up with both bass and guitar again this week. That's kind of tough sometimes, you know. Um, and obviously, I have some work to do to try and figure out what's going on with my OBS and what's going on with the with the stream and what the hell, you know, through the software and the computer and why suddenly everything has changed. I don't understand why it's changed, and we're gonna have to figure that out. So that's that's gonna be part of the deal this week. Um, you know, I have all kinds of other things I need to get into as well. But in terms of what we want to talk about here, chord work going to be huge. I do want to try and a little harder and do a little better with how's it going? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by and checking out the show. Here for the second round of the show tonight. We tried once. Hey, look at that. We got 2 people watching. That's awesome. Right on, guys. Thanks for coming out. It's good to have you watching the show. Try to come up with something be relatively entertaining this evening. Obviously, we're doing this in a different manner. Telephone tonight, no computer, no Focusrite. We got just the telephone and the board. I mean, we do have the audience. The audience is over there by the crows. So I got crows and I got audience members tonight, which is kind of interesting. I did notice one of the audience members kind of coming after one of the crows. Didn't seem quite right to me, but you know, whatever, man. It's all up to you. If you want to eat the crows while you're here in the studio audience, that's fine, because it does thin them out. They can be jerks, those guys. I always got something to say, you know, kind of like the studio audience. Anyway, so I did get most of you guys that are watching now missed the first part of the stream. I did try to do the vocal cover that I promised you, and it was horrid, just terrible. I mean, it was way worse than the crappy covers I put out. Way, way worse. So, for the moment, that film will be in the can, and nobody's going to see it. I'll maybe keep practicing on that one. So maybe there'll be a vocal cover at some point, but not for now. We're gonna try to figure out a bunch of stuff for the channel this week. I got new background stuff showing up. That should help, at least make the screen behind me a little more interesting to watch. So that's part of what we're going to do this week. We're going to figure out what's going on with software as well, like I said. I do want to spend a fair bit of time with fingers in the bass, and by that I don't mean my left hand, my fret hand, I mean my right hand. I play the bass with a pick. For those of you guys who haven't noticed in the videos, I do play the bass with a pick. So I'm trying to work on playing with my fingers. That's going to be a big part of my practice this week. I'm just kind of having trouble with it. It's not coming to me as smooth as I'd like it to. And I understand. It's a time thing. Put your time in, put your effort, and you'll get there. So we're going to put some effort into that this week. I've been playing and trying to work on Metallica, song 1 from Metallica. I'm sure most of you guys know that tune. I don't have it recorded yet. I might get it recorded this week. I do have a lot of other stuff recorded. Actually, I have, I think, 6 or 8 more songs that I'm going to, tonight before I go to bed, I'll get them into YouTube's box so they can kind of sit there and stew for a little bit and try to get them released to you guys tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, Sunday morning, stuff like that. I did record this week. I don't know. I guess I'm going to call it an episode. I did record what I'm going to call an episode of Life and Music. So it's basically just talking about how music wraps itself around your life, how your life wraps itself around music. So this week's episode is called Wash It Out. I'll have that up for you Sunday morning. I'm thinking I'm going to try to have that released about 9 o'clock Mountain Time on Sunday morning. So something to look forward to, something totally different. This is the first episode of it. I'm going to continue with it, calling it Life and Music. That's going to be the name. I guess we call it a show on the channel, I'm going to try and put them up every Sunday morning for you guys. Right now I have 4 of them kind of written, outlined, and at least outlined, somewhat written, more so than my other stuff, There's actually an outline for these. So this first one that I did, it was about 10 minutes. So take a look at it when it comes out Sunday morning and let me know what you think. In terms of, should a show like that is not just kind of fucking around and, not just talking about playing music and what we're going to practice and how practice went this week, but a show that's more designed and built around the deeper parts of music, realistically, the deeper parts of music and life. So let me know after you watch that episode, I did this one at 10 minutes. So that's something that I kind of, need your input on as the audience. Do you want a show like that that's 10 minutes long? Do you want a show like that that's a half hour long? I think I could provide both. Obviously I can, you guys watch these live shows, I can ramble for a long time about fucking nothing. So there's that, so if you guys want longer episodes about the deeper stuff, the like I say, the deeper stuff, the way music and life kind of intertwine, how one complements the other, how one can fix the other. Let me know. So that'll come out Sunday morning, about 9 o'clock. I'll have that put up for you. Something to look forward to. Completely different from what we've been doing. While it is a recorded show, it is again not edited at all, like any of my stuff. Nothing I put up is edited ever. I don't know how to do that yet. I haven't even attempted really to try and learn, to be abundantly honest. I've put pretty much zero effort into how to edit. That'll come down the line. Obviously the fact I'm doing the world famous Friday night show from a telephone, it kind of it kind of points to the fact that I don't know how to edit yet, and I'm having some problems with even just regular live shows. The phone sure does seem to be smoother, and I actually seem to gathered a bunch of people there for a minute, and everybody kind of left, but it's sure easier with the phone. I don't know that I like the picture as well. I like the picture from the camera better. You got a little wider angle. You could see what was going on a little bit more. I'm sure I could turn this phone sideways. I tried that, and it said something about orientate the stream, and I don't know what button to push. I'll look into that. I'll look into that. We'll figure it out. I had thought that I would tonight be able to get this show, this live, out on multiple platforms. I thought that I had that figured out. I don't. So hopefully, maybe by next Friday, sometime next week, I'm hoping that we'll be here on YouTube. We'll be on Rumble. I'm trying to get spread out into some of the other platforms. Try to help viewership, try to spread the word about playing music, man, and try to spread the word and not only spread the word, spread the love, the joy that somebody gets from playing music. I mean, there's something about it, We know that. That's why we're here. That's why we talk about it. That's why we play it. That's why that's why I come and do these crazy shows that nobody watches for hours and hours, and it's because of the music. It's the music. Simple as that, man. Once it bites you and it gets a hold, just like a goddamn turtle, it's not going to let go. Like a big old snapping turtle just grabs hold of you and don't turn loose. So, hey, eventually we'll get these kind of zeroed in on. I also have started to put together outlines, so to speak, I guess, a rough outline of how I want to run shows on Wednesday nights. Wednesday's our gear night. So I'm kind of trying to come up with a solution for that. So I don't have a guitar that needs to be worked on every single week. That's fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't have a guitar that needs to be worked on every week. So I want to try to get something going with these Wednesday episodes that, is gear related. And I'm thinking that I'm going to try to figure out how to do some beginner and intermediate amplifier reviews. I have a few guitar amps to choose from right now. I have a Spark 2, 50 watt, and the cabinet that goes with it. We'll throw the cabinet in when we do that review. But I have a Spark 2, 50 watt, and I have a Boss Katana, 50 watt, and I have a Line 6 Catalyst, 60 watt. So between those three amps, the Catalyst and the Boss and the Positive Grid, the Spark 2, I'll do 3 different episodes of kind of, like I say, beginner, intermediate sort of amp reviews. As I've said before in some of the episodes, I kind of went nuts right from the start. I mean, right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 amplifiers, 8. forgot the one on the floor. 8 amplifiers right now. And at one point, I think I had about 13. Yeah, probably 12 or 13. So I mean, I've certainly spent some money on some amplifiers and figured out what was way too much, what is way too much, and I still use it. What really was cool as a beginner, as an intermediate, as a beginner, what one of the things, that made me want to continue. So I have those episodes kind of lined out. We'll start running those. I'm going to start going through the amps over the next few Wednesdays on that show, on the Wednesday night show. We'll start talking amps. We'll plug them in, make some noise. So I'm kind of zeroing in on what I want to do with the channel, how I want the channel to move and operate and work. And if you guys have anything at all, you want to see a specific review of something, I'll try and get a hold of one if I don't already own one, to review it. As I said, I've got some pedals I'm going to go through as well. But yeah, and if you guys, if you want something specific in terms of the life and music episodes, if you want to send me an email and tell me how the music has wrapped itself around you and how the music has pulled your world out of the ditch at one time or another, let me know. Send me an email, High Desert Music Channel, all one word, all lowercase, @gmail.com. Send us an email, man. I'll read it. I'll check it out. I'm all for, the show kind of being driven by you guys, the viewers. The people watching. What is it you want to see? And if I can make it happen for you, I will. Yeah, you want to see a bad review of this thing or that thing done in a wildly unprofessional manner by somebody that can barely use it? Yeah, sure, I'll do it, man. Let me know. So yeah, I mean, half of the fun with these is trying to get you guys to laugh at some of the dumb shit I can come up with, right? You guys might as well be having some fun while you watch these. I mean, otherwise, what's the point? I mean, who wants to just sit around and watch some asshole talk about playing music when he can't play shit anyway? So, what the hell? The viewership tonight is through the roof. Good Lord, I haven't seen numbers that big in the viewership, lately. Huge. So how's everybody doing out there? Glad to see you. Thanks for checking us out here at High Desert Music. And you went away. But anyways, hey, so we're going to get into it. I'm going to do the Positive Grid first. We'll do that on Wednesday. That'll be Wednesday's show this week. We'll go through that Positive Grid Spark 2 and the Spark Cab that comes with it. Like I said, I got the episode coming up on Monday or Sunday morning for you guys. I got some songs coming out this weekend. Yeah, I mean, things have been going this week. It's been somewhat busy. It certainly could have been busier. There's definitely some things could have had a little more going on in one way or another. In other ways, it was kind of the right amount of time for the week. I got what I wanted out of it. So all in all, not the worst week ever. Old Roscoe had some good ideas when I went to lessons tonight. Got into some cool playing with somebody else. That was pretty nice. That was pretty interesting and pretty cool tonight. When I got into lesson time tonight, there was a few minutes, a moment, whatever you want to call it, some period of time there where I was just kind of listening to Ross, what he had picking on. He was working on something, trying to move the lesson forward. And I kind of picked up on it and started just doing my own thing to it. And that lasted for a couple minutes. And it was really cool. And it was fluid and it was smooth. It sounded pretty good, at least to my ear. It apparently sounded pretty decent to Ross's ear. It was cool. And, it was one of those moments where it's like, man, that's it. It's not a song. Nobody knows this. Nobody's ever heard this. Nobody's ever gonna hear this. This isn't a recording of some sort. This is not a top 40 wonder, one hit wonder, nothing like that. Not at all. But it's just two people making some music, playing music that hasn't really been played before. And whether or not anybody hears it doesn't matter. Who cares? In the end, that's not why I'm playing it. I mean, obviously, eventually I would like to be able to be good enough at the craft, so to speak, to play live in front of a bunch of people. I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's not the whole point of wanting to learn how. Not for me. I definitely want to go out in a blaze of rock and roll glory, but that's playing in front of millions and hundreds of thousands of people, whatever. It's not the thing. Playing with one other guy, and it's just two people making music that nobody's ever going to hear, and it was so cool. It was great. And so I'm starting to get that. I'm starting to see the progression in my learning. I'm coming far enough now that I'm starting to see the progression. I can pick things out and hear things that I used to not hear, and know when I should pop it, when it's time to play that chord, or when it's time to play that note, or for me to come in with the song. I'm starting to pick up on that and get it, and it's cool. And I'm starting to know where to go on the fretboard to just kind of make something up to play against what somebody else is playing. That is a really cool feeling. Just to see the improvement, the gain, to see that I am getting better, that I am learning, I'm progressing, and that in and of itself is pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy with that. As is the studio audience. They're our audience here. They are definitely some really good people that stand behind you. They're supportive. For sure. Extraordinarily supportive. You remember the old white ones with the big wide band and like the yellow and the blue stripe around the white? They're supportive like that. We just have a fantastic audience around here. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we want. We want to build an audience and a community, a place where beginners and people who've been playing forever and people who don't know how to play yet, but they're kind of thinking about it. I want them to all be able to come to this channel and get something from it. Even if you don't want to ever play anything and all you want to do is laugh at that moron over there. Look at this fucking idiot. Well, great. Come by and check us out, man. Leave some comments, subscribe to the channel, give us likes on the videos. Come by and, hey, well, we're looking for all of that. We're into all of that. But that's what we want to do here. Is I want to make a place. I want to have a spot where people can come and watch somebody else learn and take away from that. Everybody learns. You don't have to come. You don't have to put your bad music and your not quite played right, your crappy covers. You don't have to come and put it on YouTube. I'll do it for you, and you can watch me. And, hopefully watching me kind of make a fool of myself here and there and not be so good and get a little better over time and improve and continue to come and talk about it. Hopefully maybe, that drives you forward to play a little bit. That's one of the goals here. Draw new people into playing music, get more people excited about it, interested in it. It's not coming in the school system. That's again a subject we're not going to cover that on this channel. If that's the kind of stuff you guys want to see, and especially for whatever reason from me, and You know, if you want me to put a channel like that together, I will. But we're not gonna, Anyway, music education is lacking, and I think we all know that. And that lacking in education of it, I think lacks. It just, I don't know. We got to find a new way to get people interested, and we got to find ways to create more musicians who just want to play music. Who, again, whether or not you want to be in front of a band on a stage in front of millions of people, or if you just want to be able to play with one guy and play something cool that nobody else has played, be fired up about music and get in on conversations about music with other people, whether you know them or don't know them, and have a place to go where, you can talk, you can come and learn and watch other people learn and throw your own videos up or what have you. And, forward them to me, send them to me. We'll get them on the channel. I'll figure out how to edit that stuff in and shout you guys out as you're learning and improving and getting better just the same as I am. And, we create an environment like that for each other, for everybody to get something more out of the world and out of music, because music's pretty important. And, yeah. So, hey, we're coming on about 45 minutes tonight. Even with a little break in the middle there. We had some technical difficulties, but viewership's kind of staying steady, hovering around right there, not moving too much. Thanks for watching, guys. Glad to have you come out and see us. Yep. And there goes that one too. So, hey, we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep working and see what we can come up with, man. Maybe we land on what people want. I'm sure trying to. And like I said, I got this new episode of Life and Music coming out for you Sunday morning about 9 o'clock. Take a look, and tell me in the comments whether it's long enough, whether it needs, is it too long? Is it too short? Is it not something you want at all? Don't care. Yeah, I want to make sure that what we are putting out here on the channel and what we are working on is stuff you guys might want to watch, So I think I'm probably going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. Not necessarily a whole lot of other things I really need to cover. I mean, you know what? I can tell you this. For those of you guys who've been paying attention and kind of following along in your songbook there, I still haven't gotten any answers from Musician. We're coming into like 3.5, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, I guess, 2.5, 3 weeks, whatever. It's been quite a while. It's been long enough that I think they should have come up with an answer. You're a multinational company with the service department, a customer service department, whatever. How can we not have an answer to this question yet? And still nothing. I mean, it's been days, 3-4 days now since I've even gotten an email from them. The last one I got from them pretty much said, we're fucking stumped. I got no goddamn idea what to do. And we'll get back to you at some point. So, that causes its own issues. Again, which is pushing me forward to not be leaning on the musician to just play my own shit, not need the musician. And so the software things are pushing me to that a little bit. That's been a pain in my ass. I mean, how can you not have an answer? I don't know. I can't be the only person having this problem with the app. But anyway, no answer from Musician yet, so that's a thorn in my side. Because if I try to play on the laptop and amplifier's fired up, it just consistently tells me that I'm playing too loud. and that it can't hear itself right and it can't give me the correct feedback on the songs. Well, you know what? Fuck you. I mean, realistically, fuck you. If I want to play in my own home at 95 decibels, 100 decibels, it's my fucking problem. My ears. Um, so what's with your app? How can your app say it's too loud? Okay. Well, that's fine. Stop telling me. How about that? How about can we make the app stop telling me? Does it have to tell me every 2 seconds? Be on the screen for 2 seconds, off for 2 seconds, on for 2 seconds, off for 2 seconds. What do I need that for? I mean, what the hell? If it's too loud for you to understand and hear it right, well, then it's too loud. Now, here's the problem with that. If musician can't really hear itself all that well and can't really calibrate itself all that well, the speed of the song is incorrect. And then it becomes even more difficult to play. So that's a hurdle. And I don't understand, though. How is it too loud on a PC? However, when I play through the amplifiers at the exact same volume, exact same setup, music coming through the positive grid and playing out of the Spark cab, and the bass coming, being pumped through the Ampeg 100 watt and coming out of the B210 Neo. So if that works with a tablet, and the tablet, two different tablets that used to work, neither one of them told me that it was too loud and it couldn't calibrate itself. If I play that way with my telephone, it doesn't tell me that it's too loud and it can't calibrate itself. With a computer, it does. So it's like, I'm down to the most reliable way to use the app is on the telephone. Well, that's all well and good, except I'm getting old, man. And, it's from 9 feet away, it's a little harder to see the telephone. Now, I can still see it, and I still know what fret number they're asking for and what finger number, blah, blah, blah. I still see it. It's just a little more difficult. You know what I mean? And if they could get it fixed to work on my tablets, well, that'd be awful cool, wouldn't it? So, that's a continuing thorn in my side and has been, like I said, for weeks, 3 weeks now. And, it's nothing new. Bad customer service is kind of everywhere. If you called the 1-800 line around here and tried to get anything out of the customer service team at High Desert Music Channel, you'd get nothing. I mean, I'm paying those two idiots, and they don't do shit, and they don't care. And I listened in on a training call the other day that one of them was on, and boy howdy, I mean, it was rough. So, we're just bleeding cash around here. I mean, just pouring it out the door, and haven't quite seen the return on investment yet. Eventually that ROI will come back, I hope. Anyway, so, guys, I really appreciate you coming to check us out tonight. Thank you so much for watching the channel. We really do appreciate it. We are trying to do something different and trying to do something good for people and provide something that hasn't been out there before. So thank you so much for coming to High Desert Music Channel and watching the live show. Check out the rest of our videos. Give us a like on the videos. Subscribe to the channel. Leave us comments on any and all of the videos, good, bad, or otherwise. I certainly would like to hear your comments. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I will try to work on this goofy shit and get back to the regular camera and the regular mic. Hopefully this one sounds okay. I mean, it sounds all right in the headphones. I don't rightly know, but I'll try to get all that looked into this week and figure out what the hell's going on there and get the camera set up, fixed. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you coming by and checking us out. This is the High Desert Music Channel. home of the crappy cover. You know, we're here to make you giggle and hope you learn a little bit of music and have some fun. Thanks for watching. Like the videos, subscribe to the channel, leave us some comments, tell us what you think, good, bad, or otherwise. We'd sure love to hear it. All right, guys, have a good evening. And yeah, remember, Life in Music releases Sunday morning. New episode drops on Sunday morning about 9 o'clock. So come check it out. And then let me know. Should it be longer? Are they about the right length? Should I just ditch the idea? Check it out. Let me know. Thanks for coming by, guys. And have a great night. Happy fucking Friday. See you later.